This week we're doing a little work on the knee pad and some sanding on the body. Okay, so here on the table I've got the knee board out of the car. If you're familiar with these vehicles, you may know that these are basically made out of cardboard or press board, and unfortunately this one's kind of coming apart along the edges in a few places. So what I'm going to try to do today is fix that up. Okay, so here's a little bit of a closer look. You can see the worst spot is probably right here, where you can see it's coming apart. What my plan is basically to just use like a white wood glue. I'm going to kind of saturate it in here, and then I've got a couple pieces of metal that I'm going to clamp to this and kind of squeeze it down and let it dry. I've got some clamps here. We'll see how it works. Anyways, let's go ahead and I'll get started on this and see how it goes. Okay, so I've got this clamp now. Pretty sure it's probably going to take, I gotta let this dry basically, and then I'm probably going to have to do maybe a couple more applications because it's kind of come apart in layers, and as I put it together, it basically one layer glues together, but then if I start to take it apart, I just took it apart a bit to clean up some of the glue that had squeezed out, and you can see that first layer is together, but then the second layer is coming apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry for a few hours, and then I'll come back to it, take it apart, and see. But I'm kind of expecting to have to redo this probably a couple times. So while this is drying, let's move on to something else. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go ahead and just finish stripping the paint off the nose of the car. Just got a few more little rust repairs to do, but we're getting pretty close to starting body work, and today I don't have a whole lot of time, so I'm just kind of trying to finish up a few little things. To kind of strip down this top layer of paint. I don't think I want to take it right down to bare metal, but for sure this top layer of paint, just to see what's underneath here, because I know this is just kind of a rattle can paint job that I need to get off, and at least make sure that we've got a good base for when we're repainting. So that's what I'm going to get started on now. I've got, I believe, most of the top layer of that red paint off. The original color of the car was red, so I think this is some of the base, the original base color, and then you can see I'm going through to the primer in a few spots, which I'm fine with. I just don't want to go right down the middle. It'll just save me a little bit of time in the bodywork phase. So down here I had stripped down earlier just to see what we were working with. There's a little bit of pitting here of some rust along the very bottom edge, but nothing that goes right through, I don't think. So I'll rust treat that and fill that with a skim coat of body filler, I think. Because this is kind of a fast and dirty project. It's not going to be a show car. It's just basically wanting to be a half decent looking driver. So, but yeah, that went pretty good. It's been about an hour. I'm just gonna take a look and see how this is going here. Okay, so it's definitely better than it was. I'm gonna let it dry a bit more, and I think I might put just a little bit of a layer of glue just on the top here to kind of soak into here and just kind of seal all this up. You can see here where there's basically a layer that's come apart of glue in between. So I'm just placing some glue inside there. I'll push this back down. That's so clean. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry again, probably overnight this time, but I'll check in and update with the videos. Okay, after sitting overnight, you can see it's kind of it's hardened up here a bit, but it has separated a bit right here as well. So I'm going to re-glue this, and I'm going to put the clamps back on, and then let it sit for the rest of the day. So. Going to put a piece of tape along the bottom there just to kind of keep the glue off of the vinyl. Okay, so that's all clamped together. I'll check in on it again in a few hours. Alright, so I'm just going to unclamp this and see how it's looking. So yeah, that looks good. We need to just the edge cleaned up a bit. There's a little bit of glue along the edge here, but that should just peel off. Yep. And yeah, that looks way better. So there's a couple other little spots that I'm gonna do, but I'd say that's a success. So that's going to do it for this episode. Once again, if you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.